I was sent this tarot deck, The Mysteries of the Deep Tarot, so I can tell you not just what you're going to receive, but then also kind of go over with you a little bit about the deck itself. So I have quite a few tarot decks, and so I was really kind of excited to see this because I do have an affinity towards water. I just do. As a Cancer rising and has a Pisces stellium, let me tell you, I love water. Okay, so here's what you're going to get first. So you're going to receive a nice pouch. This is soft, which is why you see me petting it. It's a felt pouch, super soft, and I do like the pink design. To me, the pink and the blue, I love this color combination. You are going to receive a crystal necklace. Now, it doesn't really tell you which crystal you're getting. So to me, I haven't properly identified it yet. To me, it's either, I believe it's either a clear quartz or a selenite. It kind of resembles clear quartz to me, so that's what I'm going with. This is definitely going to be a gift. Now, I have seen in some of the reviews, people have received things like aventurine. They've gotten, I'm sure someone's received amethyst. Everyone gets amethyst and lapis lazuli, right? So I wouldn't necessarily take the fact that just the crystal that I got, just assume it's a random type of thing. Now, let's talk about this deck itself. Now, you're not going to receive a physical guidebook for the tarot deck. That's perfectly fine. Trust me. You will receive a card in the box that has a QR code, so there's a digital guidebook. Now, how do I even say this? If you're not used to tarot decks, then there's a few things, in my opinion, that really makes a good quality deck. And for me, the main concern for that is no matter what the imagery is on the deck, it's how well is it going to shuffle? And then for me, because I like my cards to kind of pop out on their own, how easy is it for those to pop out? Now, that was a horrible shuffle, but I can tell you they shuffle well. This is actually a really sturdy deck, very sturdy. And I haven't really broken in the deck as well as what I probably should and will. But take a look at this imagery on it. The Five of Wands. So everything on here has like a mermaid theme that I've noticed. And like this is the Magician, which is typically a man he's holding the wand, which is like the trident. And then your swords. These are your pentacles down here, and this is the cup. So on some respect, this does definitely have a Rider Waite feel to it. The Three of Wands, this is the plans are already laid, and you're just kind of waiting for those plans. That's the Three of Wands. So the imagery is kind of there where you have the person with the wands, right? There is a little boat in the background out by the sea. That works for me. You have things like your Nine of Swords, all about nightmares and anxiety. That is perfect. That is exactly Rider Waite. You have things like your Four of Cups, which being so focused on the one cup in front of you that you're neglecting the others. So I think that this deck can be very intuitive, even if you don't necessarily know the like the guidebook version. Four of Wands, celebration, right? They're celebrating. That's exactly what it is. Celebration, stability. Some of the things that I like to look for when it comes to my specific decks, I want to know what the Knight of Cups looks like, because generally the Knight of Cups is all about, this is your stereotypical romance, knight in shining armor kind of figure. So you do have your, let's see if you can see this. It's kind of hard with my light, but you do have your knight coming in riding on a horse, so to speak. But of course, you know, we have this crazy looking octopus squid looking guy, but that is still very Rider weight. Let me see. Wheel of Fortune's pretty cool. Trying to find, so this is your Empress and the Emperor. So your classic female and male. Love that. I'm looking for the Tower in particular. I've already messed around with this. So trying to now find what I'm looking for. Probably not the best thing. Yes. Okay. So another big one, you know, I'm going to show you all the quote unquote bad cards, right? Death. That is a really great representation of death if you're going to go and talk about if it relates well to the Rider weight. And as you can see, you have your skeleton, so that's good. This is your Hanged Man, upside down, perfect. As you can see, she's not very concerned about being upside down. That's the Hanged Man, right? There's your Devil. Again, very Rider weight. You have these fish that where on the Rider weight deck, it's going to show that they're being quote unquote held captive, even though they're not. That's very much the same thing with these two fish. It looks like they are being held captive, but they're not. They can easily swim away. One card I'm not fond of in this particular deck is the Chariot. The only reason why I'm not fond of how they've styled that is because the typical Rider weight version of that is there's two lions, two horses, there's two, and you have someone basically in a chariot riding behind. And so for me, the way that I usually see that card is being able to steer, guide. You know, you have your multiple paths that you go and take, but you are in charge of the direction, which in a way is the Chariot here. I know I'm coming upon the Ten of Cups. That's your family. That works. Okay, so the Fool. The Fool makes sense, right? So you have your little octopus here, which is supposed to be the dog. You are on a ledge. Well, she's sitting on a ledge, but the Rider weight, you're like, the figure is like YOLOing, you know, jumping, like just ready to walk into the unknown, no matter what the consequences is. So I feel like this maybe isn't the best if you're going like completely Rider weight style. This is the Lovers. That makes sense to me. Aha, found it. Of course, the Lovers is right before the Tower. So the Tower, perfect. Beautiful. Love it. Because you have your lightning, you do have a little crown up there, you have people falling from the tower. Perfect. That's what we want. It does look as though the tower is crumbling, but how the ocean is reacting, very Tower. Extreme Tower. I am also looking for I like to look at Temperance. That was always the difficult card for me, so I like to look at it and see if I can understand it. So Temperance, you have your two cups, you have like this water interplay between the two cups, that's temperance. Now the only thing that doesn't, while it kind of makes sense, keeping balance, I think that's more of the judgment card. I think temperance, it would, it doesn't really talk about spiritual and non-spiritual and the balance of that. But overall, I think that they did a really good job of being able to use that Rider-Waite imagery to be able to go in and show kind of what they wanted to with that mermatic theme, that water theme. So I don't believe that this is a straight pip deck where it just shows just the pentacles. I think this is more of a Rider-Waite deck. I think that it's not an interpretive deck per se, but I don't know. I think that it does lean on some cards a little bit too into the mermaid theme. But if you're into that, then, and maybe you're already familiar with Rider-Waite, then I think that this is going to be a perfect deck for you.